going hello, boys and girls. It's the Sweary Boys going under the world. Now we're diving into the mountain. I think the Lemurians found a youth fountain. And they refilled their ships, made a bunch of giant babies. Now we're giving a shit. Bigfoot's here, the whole gang's coming too. Bright light spaceships and some FOUs. I mean some UFOs, no I mean OFU. It's the What It Podcast and we're back slapping with you. Come on, man. Yeah, man.
You did her, bud.
I done did her, and you done did her, and
I'm gonna do her.
we done did her.
We out of here.
Nope.
We in here.
We in here.
I live here.
We out here. You
Literally.
live here.
I'm at home.
Live in the studio. What's up, man?
Same shit as like 10 minutes ago.
Same shit, different crystal.
You know us.
You know
Fucking
us.
Billy. Dark. I'm out. It's your turn.
It's got to be more people named Crystal, right?
Dark Crystal wasn't even a person. I ran out after one if we're doing people.
Well, cultural touchstone references. You at least got to. There's got to be. There's got to be a first name Crystal. I went to prom.
Steve.
I went to prom with a girl named Crystal.
Oh, right. That's a person's first name.
Mm-hmm.
Man, thinking is tough sometimes.
You know,
It's the worst.
I did go to prom with a girl named Crystal. Oh, maybe that
Proud of
set
you,
my
man. You went to prom
destiny.
with a girl?
What? Are you just impressed that I won it all? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, that's a big day.
Not only should you be impressed by that, but she asked me.
Were you like,
Holy shit. Hey.
I was like, watch me throw this football really far over the mountain.
I'm getting dickered on this one.
We didn't actually. We didn't get to. You love that way too much. You love picturing that guy at prom way too much.
oh boy, I forgot that one was on here. I was going for this one.
Oh, I'm gonna do her. I'm getting dickered on this one.
This is so good.
It's committed, you know? It's really committed.
You know, he knows what he wants. I can respect that.
He wants to get dickered. Let that man work. Let that man whip it.
New t-shirt, let Ray cook.
Oh, God. I don't think I'll be able to survive without that. Let Ray.
We got to put up there just so you can order one.
And if y'all think that's funny enough, you can, but I'm definitely going to wear a Let Ray
No one
Cook
else is
t-shirt.
going to appreciate that. But
Don't care.
You should make one for yourself.
I intend to.
All right, tell me about the lemurs that live inside of the Mount Shasta.
I wish it was lemurs.
Many primates, bro.
Many primates. What do you know about the Lemurians, bud?
Well, they had to leave Lemuria when
You know about Lemuria, bud.
when their continent flooded, and it became an underwater continent, a lost continent, if you will.
A la the lost city of Atlantis.
Well, yeah, except some are real, or maybe Atlantis is, but like this has actually been documented. With what's the one by New Zealand? It's like Zealandia or something. You know about this? Do you know about this shit though?
Wait, did you just say what's the one by New Zealand? New Zealandia?
It's called Zealandia. That's actually a real thing.
To be honest, that's just kind of fucking lazy.
It makes sense though. It's like how you got North and South America. This was the old Zealand.
Nah, dude.
Now that sank and you got a New Zealand.
I mean, I guess. I just feel like that'd be like if India found an island off their shore, they'd be like, we'll call it Indiana.
It's not like that at all. And it's the other order, if anything.
I don't know.
This sank like millions, tens of millions of years ago.
But that's what I'm saying.
Many millions, bro.
Many millions. But that's what I'm saying is they didn't know until they found it.
Right.
To
So
me,
they were calling
that's-
themselves New Zealand. They're like, oh shit. But there's an old Zealand though.
But that's the point, is when they were calling themselves New Zealand, they didn't know the old Zealand existed, which means they
Bro,
should
you're
be
underestimating
Zealand.
the oral tradition.
I mean, I guess that's true. That's a thing. That's
Yeah.
a thing. The oral tradition is alive and well with Lemuria, bro.
The oral tradition of the What If podcast just says, fuck with us, we grown now.
That is
To
our
dear future generations.
fuck with us. We grown now. That's our deepest oral tradition.
This is probably not the time or place. I'm just going to keep interrupting you. Sorry.
Do we do anything
Lost
else?
Continents should be a whole episode of this show. That's all. It's
I'm on
fucking
board.
fascinating. And I spent most of my time for this episode just researching places that sank.
That's cool. I would like to do an episode on Atlantis.
Yeah.
In its entirety. That could be an episode alone, and then we could do another full one on Lost Continents.
Many floods.
I'll say too many. Well,
I apologize.
I guess I didn't know anybody around that time, so maybe,
Me either.
it might have earned it.
There probably weren't any people, honestly, if we're talking tens of millions of years ago.
What about the Lemurians, bro?
Well, we also need to do the what if we're not the first civilization one. So tell me about the lemurs that live in the mountain.
You
please.
guys,
I'm done talking.
don't worry. We've got lots of podcast ideas lined up, and we'll keep making the show for at least 8 to 25 years.
Yes, but
Are they trash?
The Lemurians?
no, our ideas.
Thanks, Rob. Well, you guys will have to tell us. And if you have better ideas than our ideas, please
Keep
send
them
them
to your goddamn self.
No, please send them to hiwhatifpodcast.com.
Start your own podcast.
Or send us a voicemail at 612-246-4614. In fact, Mount Shasta was a listener.
Make a YouTube channel.
Mount Shasta was a listener recommendation.
It was.
It was.
I don't remember who though. I'm sorry.
We'll shout him out before the episode's over. I'll do a search of our.
Also, I mean, if we're being honest, you weren't the first one, bro. But we'll give you credit because you're the most recent.
Oh, to recommend it? Oh,
You ain't original.
sick.
We don't want to hype you up too much, guy whose name I don't remember.
Yes. Oh no, dude!
Lady.
It's the same dude who sent it twice.
I apologize.
Oh, damn.
Yo, y'all, if I could document Spencer's face right now, like it was very like, you know what? That's on me.
When you put it like that, you're right.
And you know who recommended Mount Shasta for an episode?
No, obviously I do not. I do not.
Michael Jackson.
That's the worst name I ever heard.
False. Double.
His head fell off.
Okay, bud. Relax, fucking fast fingers.
If you would tell us about, I've asked you to tell us about the lemurs inside the mountain at least 3 times.
I'm
now.
thanking Michael Jackson for telling me.
Keep pausing at funny moments.
For telling me to.
Not telling your story.
I'm thanking Michael Jackson for telling me to learn about the lemurs inside the mountain. So, Lemuria, parentheses, continent, which I like a lot, is it's a hypothetical continent. We don't have like fully confirmed evidence that Lemuria was in fact a true continent. But do you know why it's called Lemuria? Lemuria? That's some serious Lemuria, Bill Murray. Somebody out there got that joke.
It's mostly inhabited by lemurs. It's actually Madagascar.
Actually, do you know that Madagascar has something to do with this, or did you just say that?
No, but that's where lemurs live.
Okay. Yes, it is. So basically,
I was gonna give myself an air horn, but you told me I couldn't push any more buttons.
you were just getting a little finger happy over there.
No, trying to do my job. Keep
There
the
are
show entertaining.
There are lemur fossils both on Madagascar and on the continent of India, but we have not so far discovered lemur fossils in the Middle East or on the continent of Africa.
Land bridge, bro.
Many bridges. So the idea is there was a, let's see, I don't know what year it was. 1864, a zoologist named Philip Sclater basically posited that because that's true, at some point they must have been part of one landmass, or there must have been a connective landmass.
Or before humans were around, aliens used to abduct lemurs.
True. Or remember a long time ago on one of our Patreon episodes
Probably not.
where we talked about how there was that one island where the biologists documented the monkeys that were riding on deer to get faster from place to place.
Yeah, those guys are doing something.
Doing it real big. Maybe there are some lemurs out there who are like, hey, this dolphin is tight. Let me grab that fin. And just like ghosted
Just
to another
send it.
location.
They just sent it.
I kind of feel like a dolphin would be like, and I'm diving as deep as it takes to murder you. So you stop holding on.
Well, they still have to breathe air.
I know, but I'm just saying they can hold their breath for probably longer than a little teeny lemur lung.
Do the lemurs on India have greater lung capacity? That would prove your theory.
That would prove the theory. What do they call those things that attach to whales' sides? The little like weird fishies that have suction cups for mouths, and they're like little riders.
I think that's their name.
Suction
little
cup
riders.
Dude, people are yelling at their phones right now.
Put it on the list.
Fuck. But yeah, they're like that, but lemurs. No, this person thought that they were connected, and they thought they were connected through a potential landmass, which they decided to call Lemuria.
Makes sense to me.
A continent that potentially, I mean, the way it's mapped, which let's not get too excited about maps of hypothetical continents, but
we should. Sounds like fun.
It basically,
I fucking love that map.
It basically takes up the entire Pacific Ocean. It's like actually instead of the Pacific Ocean,
Wait though,
there was a continent.
So this dude you sure he didn't just use the wrong color on the map?
Like this is land and this is
supposed
water.
to be blue, but he colored it green.
And he was like, "See, they're here."
Lemurs everywhere. See that area? All lemurs.
You're a bad biologist. Yeah, I think. I mean, he posited that they had to travel on land.
So when did they start living inside Mount Shasta?
Well,
And if you're going to California, shouldn't they have gone across the Alaskan-Russian land bridge instead?
well, look at you, fucking fancy land bridge man, knowing about all your land bridges. What you talking about the lemurs themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the idea is not necessarily that the lemurs themselves are the ones who live inside of the mountain itself.
The descendants of the lemurs? Is this a metaphor? Are we the descendants of the lemurs?
I like watching you struggle for understanding. Like, but when do I get a pet lemur? Like, this is all good and fine, but I'd like to know when my lemur comes to my doorstep.
I'm just gonna start asking: is this a metaphor about all the things, everything we talk about on the show?
Yeah. So anyway,
or just start a new podcast called "Is This a Metaphor?"
And we just
whoever's making the meme this week, just put it on that butterfly meme that everybody's doing.
Oh yeah, is this a metaphor? Yeah. I still don't understand it because I don't understand the first one.
Put a head of a alien on the butterfly.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I don't actually
And put Ryan's head on the guy who's pointing at it. No, my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say
many heads.
I think it's your guy. Maybe wait, can my head be on the butterfly?
Correct. Still waiting on that story though.
Yeah, I would love it if I could get there, my friend. The idea is actually that there were humanoid creatures that were also part of Lemuria. So as much as Lemuria would lead you to believe that it was a land exclusively populated by lemurs,
The mountain's basically a barrel full of monkeys.
they've all got their arms tangled. It's
really messy.
It's one big game of Red Rover out there, but just with
In there.
in that continent barrel. But no, the theory goes that Lemuria also housed humanoid-like creatures. And the idea is that when Lemuria sank into what is now what we know as the Pacific Ocean, its populace had to find a place to stay.
Is populence a real word? I've never heard that before. That's a crazy word.
That's the second time I've gotten that today, and I've gone, I know that's a real word. Wait, am I dumb? Someone who populates, a resident of an area.
An inhabitant, if you will.
An inhabitant. The inhabitants of Lemuria had to go, oops, the boat is sinking. We got a GTFO. And in fact, as the folklore goes, some say that the Lemurians and the inhabitants of, speaking of Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis were in a land war or some sort of general...
It was at a premium, obviously. Everything was flooding.
Disagreement with each other, yes. And potentially the same event that sunk the lost city of Atlantis also sunk the lost continent of Lemuria, and
dang.
yes, and cause those nations to war and find a new place to stay. Now, in their exodus, the Lemurian people, not lemurs, to clarify,
But not human beings either?
humanoid, I would say.
Does that count? Like, I've never really understood what that term means. Like, would a really handsome chimp be humanoid? Or what are the characteristics of being humanoid yet not human?
I'll give that a good googly moogly, but my understanding of the word humanoid is that it's human-like in nature, but with like exaggerated features that would lead you to believe it is not human.
Yeah, beautiful hair.
He had beautiful hair. That's yes.
Okay.
So not like similar to a human. Let's see.
Like the guy from Domino's?
Yep. Wait, what?
The Noid? Wasn't that Domino's?
What is
Avoid the Noid?
What are you? I have no idea.
Don't worry
what
about it.
you're
Keep going.
talking about right
I've ruined this episode enough already.
having an appearance or character resembling that of a human, sometimes, especially in science fiction, a being resembling a human in its shape.
A human-shaped thing.
A human-shaped thing.
So a monkey.
So, not humanoid enough, I don't think.
Too much tail.
Too much tail, too much fur. In fact, the Lemurians, as again folklore goes. Well, wait, I got to get back to them fucking leaving and fighting with Atlantis. So when they left the continent of Lemuria, they hopped next door to North America, and they said, "We need protection because we're having a big war with the lost city of Atlantis, the Atlanteans."
Okay.
And so we need a base. You know what would be a good base? That very tall mountain over there.
They crossed the entire country first, though?
What do you mean?
Which way did they come from?
Other ocean, my guy. That would be the Atlantic Ocean on the other side of the United
listening
States.
is real tough sometimes.
Pacific Ocean would be the one on the left side of the
Makes
country
more sense.
for us. Yeah, so they just hopped up the curb, if you will, as the road
Climbed in
was
that
sinking.
barrel.
And climbed in that, from that barrel into a new barrel.
Yeah, many barrels.
Which was
Lot of lemurs.
finding their home inside of
Makes
Mount
sense.
Shasta.
Who's this? Who's reporting this?
So,
Because I thought we started by saying that this place wasn't real.
well, it's not.
Okay.
Well, someone says it is, and that someone is Frederick Spencer.
That's the worst name I ever heard.
Nailed it. Oliver. Who wrote a book, and that book is where this So the Story Goes story is coming from.
Yes.
The story is called A Dweller on Two Planets, or The Dividing of the Way, which is, I don't fully understand.
I would have called it the lemur's tail, but that's just me.
Ooh, TAIL? Or
Maybe.
TALE?
We'll see.
I mean, it's
LE, and I was thinking, but
LE, but like,
but it's also
very
a story about
certain
lemurs.
of the pun, right?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Self-aware.
No, it's good.
If
Very
you will.
self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
So Frederick Oliver was born in 1866 and wrote this book, A Dweller on Two Planets. Finished the book in 86, so was lazy because it took him 20 fucking years. Come on, Frederick. It's okay. He didn't have Word or Google Docs or any of those things. So
Get your shit together, Fred.
it's probably harder for Fred to do that.
Fucking figure it out, Fred.
But yeah, so Fred presents this this story as something that happened to him as he was. Go ahead.
How old is Fred?
Currently,
At that time?
Fred. I was gonna say Fred was born in 66.
His head fell off.
At some point, it did, or it's in the process of falling off in a box under the dirt.
But didn't this, even if this hypothetical continent existed, wasn't it millions of years ago? How would he know? He had personal experience with something millions of years old?
He was hanging out. He's millions of years old.
Well, look, if you're not prepared to do the research,
No, Frederick's. Oh, that's actually good when it stops just at that point. Actually, nice, well done.
Thank you.
No, so Frederick had this story about the Lemurians and their sinking continent and their journey into Mount Shasta, communicated to him through his hand. Yep.
Huh?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So Frederick basically one day went into some sort of fugue state, and his hand
best.
started making writing motions.
Oh, sure.
And he said, "Hand."
Automatic writing. Yeah.
Automatic writing. So he was
And it told him there's a mountain full of lemur folk,
in
and they walked across the ocean to get there.
in short, yes.
Cool.
In short, yes. In long, basically, he didn't really, as he tells, didn't know what was happening. He just felt like his hand was being compelled to write a story without his effort or brain.
Right.
And over time, this story was pieced together for him through a series of ongoing fugue states that it was gonna happen at some point. One of the interesting parts about it, though, is so Frederick talks about the Lemurians' retreat into the planet, and he actually in the book refers to a bunch of, I guess, what we would consider today like very, I don't know, prototypical science fiction topics.
Okay. Such as?
Like anti-gravity and like quantum mechanics and quantum physics. And
Well, I mean, that stuff's real though.
right, but was not necessarily a
Oh.
popularized common concept in 1866.
True.
I
I don't think it was a concept at all, really, was it?
No, I don't think so either. But I guess like what he was writing about was maybe versions of that under a different name kind of thing, like pointing to concepts.
Hey, there's stuff that's small and it does different stuff than the stuff that's big.
Sometimes it's in the same spot
And some
at
stuff
two different times.
and some stuff goes around the other stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the big stuff.
Just
but
like that.
small stuff.
And also sometimes ships fly in the air and they're long, and sometimes they're in
Cigar-shaped
space.
crafts?
Cigar-shaped crafts? Many crafts, bro. Yes, dude. So in Frederick's
that's gonna
book,
be the sister podcast to Rob's Our Strange Skies.
What's that? Many crafts, bro?
Yes.
Many crafts, bro. Is pretty good.
And then we're going to have a second sister podcast that's just about crafting.
Oh, like knitting and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Needlepoint?
Perhaps.
Macaroni Christmas
Nope,
trees?
Get that the fuck out.
Why?
It's fucking amateur hour.
Yeah, of course it is. We're not going to be
This is
professional
serious.
needle pointers.
Well, not with that attitude.
One day, somehow. Frederick Oliver, in his book about the Lemurians, references cigar-shaped craft flying
Fuck yeah, he does.
and or docking. I don't know if he actually uses the word docking, but the concept of it actually being a craft that got Lemurians in and out of Mount Shasta, or excuse me.
Oh, docking with the mountain, not with another craft.
Yes, correct.
Got it.
And this actually goes to, there's been some interesting tales that have happened later on. We talked about the potential UFO photo from the MUFON photos in the last episode.
Cup holder.
Could be a cup holder or a vent. But there are also some interesting eyewitness reports around like strange cloud shapes and sightings. There was one story that I read about a forest fire that happened on Mount Shasta that was covered by clouds, and there was once
That's called smoke.
That's called, you're right.
An idea.
I think it
Counterpoint.
counterpoint. Smoke is a thing that resembles clouds. No, but I think it was maybe more of like a shape in the sky that was observed, and once the shape retreated, there was sort of a perfectly geometric line or shape where the fire had been stopped.
The old UFO using the clouds as cover.
Trick. To potentially put
Classic.
out a fire that was threatening the home of the Lemurians.
Wait, so they live underground, but fire is scary?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna scorch the mountainside, you're gonna maybe expose some of their entrances or their exits. Plus, who knows if it gets into the wrong crevasse? You've got a refrigerator that's just too warm.
Isn't this a volcano?
Yes, bro.
So these people chose to live inside of a volcano?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
I mean, they're giants in white robes with sandals, bro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, go on.
They're giants.
Tell me more.
That's
Are they not flammable?
I feel like if you're giant, you can just, you can handle it better.
There's some pretty big things that are pretty flammable. Trees, for instance.
That's true. You know what? You're right. As legend goes, the Lemurians have been spotted in the Mount Shasta surrounding area over time as tall beings that they believe emerge from their home in the mountains to potentially obtain things from the surrounding area.
Ooh.
Or have...
What sort of things do they need?
The way that I read it was like minerals. Like they buy I think one of the articles I read said phosphorus or something like that.
Is that why it smells so bad?
Potentially.
They have like trade routes with Bigfoot?
They're dropping some phosphorus on Bigfoot as they're headed back up into the mountain.
So they trade, Bigfoot brings them crystals. They gave Bigfoot phosphorus. That's why Bigfoot stinks.
Yep.
And they're using the crystals for some sort of like crazy power plant inside of the mountain.
So there are crystals.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
We got this figured right the fuck out.
I think we're good.
No, there are the way that the story goes is there have been reports in the last 120 years in the Mount Shasta area of very tall people entering into town and paying for things in gold, which if you think about it is not that crazy of a concept. If you go back 100 years, like into the 1900s, you go like towards gold rush time, West Coast, like tall people paying for things in gold is like a little bit odd, but not super duper odd.
Maybe it was just like a cult who wanted to keep some things off the books.
Maybe. But also buying like vast quantities of minerals, and often the way that the stories are told is that
building bombs.
What's that?
Probably building bombs or something.
Maybe that's why the volcano keeps erupting, because they're building bombs on there and setting them off.
Sounds like some like Mario Odyssey level geology understanding.
Yeah, there you go. Come on, you know if we blew enough nukes up underground, it would
nukes now.
It would start a volcano.
Yeah, probably.
No, but that when they pay with gold, they pay with too much gold, like chunks of gold, and people are like trying to figure out how to give change for a significant amount of gold. And
how many stores accept gold?
To be honest, I don't really know today how well that would work.
There are places that
in
don't take cash now.
1906, I feel like probably more.
I guess it's some small town California in 110, 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're talking about like gold rush time. People probably were paying with flecks and specks and nuggets and chunks and.
Okay, so tall people are buying which minerals?
I can't remember
like
now.
Salt?
There's
or
I can't remember now. I feel like I remember
it's in the book
phosphorus
and we
or
can
phosphate.
We can get some insight into what they were trying to do.
I'm spacing.
Maybe they were buying a bunch of magnesium, which is the stone of self-doubt.
Wait, is it really?
No, I don't think it's even a stone. I'm just saying stuff until you find the thing.
Magnesium is a stone.
Okay. See?
Isn't it? I mean, it's an ore, right? It's an element.
My mistake. However,
I don't know. I don't got it. They were buying shit, bro.
All right.
But anyway.
It would be kind of fucked up if you started a cult that only allowed people that were like 6'10" and over into it. And then if you're wearing robes, you could put like some little stilts under there too. So
That's true. Really fucking freak
everyone
people
in
out.
your cult is like 8 or 9 feet tall.
Just Sean Bradley, like replicated over and over again.
Yes. I'm starting a cult in which we just clone Sean Bradley. That's the underlying premise of the cult. That's our mission statement.
Man, we're not
repopulating the earth with Sean Bradley.
It sounds like a dangerous task. He's not an extremely coordinated person.
No, but he's
Sean,
large.
No offense.
We love you.
We love you. You were great in Space Jam.
True.
But yeah, man. So speaking of the crystals,
Oh, yeah.
there is a crystal city.
Yes. I mean, they basically live in a giant crystal, though, if you live inside a mountain. You
True.
are inside of a rock.
But Talos, which I was
A
referring
rock.
to last week, is the name of the city that the Lemurians live inside of.
I need to know everything there is to know about this crystal city populated entirely by primates.
Okay. So
Just gonna turn my microphone off.
I guess we're
you've got
primates.
27 minutes
Well,
and 12 seconds.
Do you have the JC Brown stuff down? Because I looked into it, but I know he's the one that kind of discovered it. Or kind of discovered it? Or
The
says
city?
he discovered it? Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'll be happy to read.
Okay.
We can do an episode of Spencer Reads Wikipedia if you'd like.
I mean, okay, yes, let's do this.
Jesus Christ Brown was a British prospector who discovered a lost underground city beneath Mount Shasta in 1904.
Okay.
He had been hired by an English mining company to try and find some gold, and he found a cave which went 11 miles down into Mount Shasta.
That's many miles, bro.
Yeah. How? I was about to ask an Earth's crust question, and that never goes well.
No, but I understand why you're asking that question. Because
11
it's
miles
one of
into
the
the Earth seems really far.
it's one of the same things that I wondered. The version of the story that I came across said that this guy's basically he's prospecting, right? Like going back to the gold ship we were talking about, right around the right period of time to do that. And he runs into a rock face that seems weird. And he's like, this isn't natural, and I'm going to explore this. And basically starts taking gear from the period of time, which, good Lord, I can't imagine is, I mean, your lantern is kerosene at the time, and you're, like...
Yeah. People
Gold-
mined, though.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
like gold
A
mining...
lot of them probably died, too, though.
I was just going to say, gold mining safety gear in 1904 cannot have been super duper thorough.
The super deep borehole, which is the deepest I believe anyone has gone into the Earth, is 7.6 miles.
What?
But that's straight down. So I don't know if this thing that our guy found was like a shaft straight down, or if it was like a tunnel at an angle, or...
I think the way I understood it was it's a tunnel. He
Okay.
basically was trying to measure his paces and just kept traveling further and further into this tunnel, or potentially even like a series of tunnels. So and also if you think it's going, if you believe the story of J.C. Brown, you're heading into the mountain, maybe
Right.
not necessarily like directly down once you get to the face of the mountain.
I mean, it might have been, a like 1% decline or something.
Right, but just somehow continued to allow him to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk into the volcano. Jump, jump, jump.
So approximately 11 miles in, he finds an underground city that was filled with gold, shields, and mummies,
Hell yeah, dude.
some of which were 10 feet tall or more.
I heard 27 plus mummies.
Again, according to who?
Hey guys, do you remember last episode when we told you that we were going to bookend this?
Hell yes.
So we have not put the other bookend on the beginning bookend of
This is all still bullshit.
some bullshit. But
Probably.
but it's fun bullshit.
Maybe.
Probably.
Or-
Maybe. Well,
or it's not.
I still want to wrap around at the end and talk about all of this.
Okay.
But yes.
According to Mr. Brown, the Lemurians were... He found mummies, but he's going to describe what the people looked like, apparently. Graceful, thin, ethereal beings, very tall, with fair skin, because, of course, every good conspiracy theory about other races needs to have at least some angle of white supremacy to it.
Bummer.
They fucking all do.
Well, it's, maybe they're just, maybe they're aliens.
Fair skin, long, luxurious hair, and abnormally long necks, which they decorated with elaborate collars made of beads, gold, and precious stones.
Tight. Crystals.
They wore white robes and sandals. Again, I'm not sure how you could tell this.
Because they're mummified.
And they had very advanced technology, including atomic energy, magnetism, electronics, and the ability to alter space-time itself. Thousands of years in the past. Although if you could alter space-time, probably didn't matter when you did it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that just makes you like Rick, and you can just go in and out.
They were Time Lords.
Time Lord.
Yeah, they apparently used levitating anti-gravity spaceships to get around.
Right.
And
Sounds cool.
they illuminated their underground city with an artificial miniature sun powered by some sort of energy source.
Like maybe the volcanic material inside of a mountain?
Or atomic fission, one or the other.
Yeah.
Or like...
Just saying like one of those things is really...
They caught a lot of lightning bugs.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say a lot of lightning bolts. I was like, that'd be a lot of lightning rods, but like you could do it.
Possible. They had a walnut-sized organ, which protruded from their foreheads.
Gross.
And gave them psychic powers like ESP, telekinesis, telepathy, and the ability to appear and disappear at will, just like the interdimensional Bigfoots that have been seen in the area.
Uh-oh.
Getting into levitating airships of some kind.
Sure are.
Yep. So that's what J.C. Brown had to say about the Lemurians based on a tunnel that he found in 1904.
Did he bring us back any documentation of this other than his personal story?
Of course he didn't.
Did we try to learn more?
Me and you personally?
No, I mean, did he
no,
go, hey guys, come on, we got to go back and get some shit and look at this shit?
No.
Okay.
Because it didn't happen.
Oh, bummer.
Probably.
That would make that hard to do then if it didn't happen.
Right? Most likely.
I mean, yeah.
Or like, I don't know. What was photography like in 1904? Probably not great.
That's a good point. But also I just feel like if I stumbled on that on the riverbank here in Minneapolis, my first thought would be to like rally a group of people and return to that location to get additional eyewitness.
Even before that, I might try and take something with me that would be significant when viewed by someone else.
Hey, big guy. Hey,
I got a 9-foot femur here.
You're coming with me, bud.
Or just even like you take an index finger that's like 17 inches long or something.
Yeah, and you're like, bro.
Right.
What? You're like whipping a mule with like one fucking Lemurian finger.
Held together by what?
Cartilage.
Bro, we learned about this last week.
What?
It's the first thing to go.
All right. That's how your metatarsals fall off. No, your metatarsals.
What was the...
Shit, is it metatarsals or metatarsals?
Carsal is in your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you get carpal tunnel syndrome.
And your metatarsals are in your
feet.
toes.
Your feet.
Yo, this is the first time we've ever, in the history of this show...
Why did you say it like that?
Figured out something that we said was dumb.
We're probably wrong.
I'm going to fucking good googly moogly it.
I was just going to move on and be content with being wrong.
Okay, carry on.
You have to read your Google searches out loud when you do this, though.
Metatarsal bones are a group of 5 long bones in the foot.
That was your Google search?
Oh, I just looked up metatarsal.
Oh.
And then,
it's exciting and more direct than I was anticipating.
Oh, they're not metacarsals, they're metacarpals.
Even more sense by my logic, though.
Because it's carpal tunnel syndrome.
It's a tunnel that goes through your hand. And it's also a syndrome.
Whoa.
It's when you get a tunnel in your hand and you got to go to the doctor. You're not supposed to have tunnels there.
Too many tunnels.
You're supposed to have one usually.
Can you please fill my tunnels so they're not...
Jesus.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, that one's on me, obviously.
You done did it.
I don't know. What other weird shit happens in that mountain other than it's full of...
That pretty much covers, I think, the Lemurian population and the stories behind them.
Yep.
Cross's stories were never verified because he couldn't bring back documentation. Or excuse me, not Cross, J.C. Brown. You said Jesus Christ. I'm thinking about the cross, man. That's your fault.
Oh, one last thing about J.C. Brown, by the way. He believed that he had been cursed when he came across the 10-foot tall mummies.
Okay. Just by virtue of seeing them?
He believed that he and anyone that he told about it became cursed and died miserable deaths.
Well, he probably should have stopped killing those people.
Well, yeah, bring you back to the point that this is probably not a real thing.
You know what? You right.
Well, you want to move from really tall people to really short people?
I mean, absolutely.
All right.
Are they gonna play a basketball game against each other? Is it gonna be like all the Sean Bradleys against all the Muggsy Bogueses?
I think they're all dead, actually, unfortunately. Sorry.
Well, I'm still gonna envision what it would be like if they play basketball against each other in my head. The Lemurs versus the... What do you got?
They don't have a cool name. We need to make them one.
Okay, keep going and we'll figure out one.
There's apparently a race of little men, or they were originally described by Norman Westfall as being, quote, tiny dwarves.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, probably not.
Let's stray on the side of probably not and just say someone else said that.
He also said that they offered to bring him some gold. So I think he's just like telling a story about leprechauns.
Okay. Cool.
Anyway,
you know all about it.
The little person disappeared and returned with a sack of what appeared to be coal, but explained that the bag actually contained black diamonds, and that within the black diamonds lay a secret.
Okay. Is this like Men in Black?
Perhaps.
There's
It's Orion's belt.
There's a universe inside Orion's belt?
Westfall says he at this point realized that this was a, quote, dwarf of vast wisdom. Put it on the list. And that
okay. Sorry, I just realized I think I just hit my bullshit quotient. And I was like, okay, well,
Heck.
oh God. I almost threw
fell off.
my computer accidentally. Okay, no, we're good. We're good.
One time I want to read one of these stories
Yes.
that isn't A, written by an old white man,
Yes.
and B, doesn't somehow either disparage some group of people
Yeah.
or talk about this brilliant, peaceful, fair-skinned, blonde hair, tall race of like God people.
Yeah, what's up with that? Hey,
I mean,
what's up with that?
We both know.
I know. But I don't want to think about it.
I
I just
know.
want to think about aliens.
Fuck this guy's story. We got plenty of other stories.
Okay, I figured it out though.
It's a stupid story. You didn't see anybody.
It's the Lemurian lemurs versus the little Mount Shasta McNasties.
No one knows what you're talking about still.
They're playing basketball in my head right now, and that's all that matters. Hey, and you know what, bro? Because the Lemurian lemurs are so tall and the little Mount Shasta McNasties are so short, you are starting at center for the little Mount Shasta McNasties, and you're gonna dunk in your first game in my head.
Wait, is
right now?
Being surrounded by short people doesn't make me able to jump higher, though. Is the rim lower?
No, it just means you're starting at center.
But then there was more to that sentence. You said, and you're going to be able
And you're
to
going to
dunk.
dunk for the first time because this game between these two hypothetical races is happening inside my head.
Okay.
Along with you being involved.
Got it.
You're welcome. You dunked for the first time in my brain.
I'm going to move on to the Yaktavians because this one seems a little bit less racist or biased against people with disabilities or women or anybody that's not an old white man.
Let's do it.
One of the people believed to live inside of Mount Shasta.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, many.
Many peoples.
The people from the last story also were inhabitants or populants, if you will, of Mount Shasta. So we're up to at least 3.
Oh, because there's small people, big people,
and the Yaktavians.
And
Yaks.
Yaks.
There are yaks.
Just really normal yaks.
Yeah.
There.
The Yaks are said to be the best bell makers in the world.
Bruh, that's cool.
Dude, I went to all the weird website and blog spots and things that usually you don't let me read on our show. They're all coming out today. These are all just totally garbage sources.
Is it just fan fiction? Like, is that what people are doing?
All of this stuff is really.
Well.
What's the difference?
Well.
Through their use of sound and vibration, the Yaktavians are believed to have hollowed out vast underground tunnel systems and cities.
Ooh.
So they may be related to the, who are the tall people? Those are the Lemurians?
Lemurians, bro.
Yeah, okay. And they have giant bells that they've built out of some sort of crystal, so they're transparent or clear. People can't see them, but they vibrate and emit a frequency that is very unpleasant, but just out of the range of human hearing. Wow. So people are naturally opposed to going to that area because it's like, you know, the whole thing about how like infrasound, although that's really low frequencies, can create feelings of like fear and unease and nausea and dread and doom and all that.
Yes.
So basically, the Yaktavians made these bells that resonate at frequencies that naturally repel humans, so that we stay away from all their secret underground layers.
Even though we can't actually hear them?
Correct. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about the whole infrasound theory about in relation to the paranormal and hauntings and all that kind of stuff before.
Yes. So we're just instinctually repelled, if you will, by
that
by
is what
those
is
sounds.
being proposed here, yes, by the sounds of the yaks and their brilliant bell making. Now, see, we can hear that. You gotta go lower. Perfect.
Nailed it.
What do you think? Sorry, you go ahead. I got an experiment here.
Wait, where did the Yaktavians come from?
Inside of the mountain.
No, but who told us about the Yaktavians? Whoa. What you doing, bud?
See how low I can make an air horn.
That's pretty good.
That's what the Yaktavians do to keep people away.
Wait, what happens if you give it multiple, like many presses? It's
a lot longer this way too. It's fun.
I feel like you should record a version of that, and then depending on whether it's a good thing that happens or a bad thing that happens,
you either get a or a
yes. Because this one kind of like the low, the
slide
low air
down
horn,
is a lot slower. It sounds really sad.
It sounds like a sad trombone almost,
totally.
which is great.
You know, I thought about writing down these sources.
And then you realized it would just be like...
And then I was writing the stupidest combinations of words you could ever imagine.
Yeah, people really go pretty ham when they're trying to write some of this stuff. Huh?
After I wrote down BigfootEncounters.com twice, I stopped.
I mean, yes. Yes. That was the move.
So we did Bigfoot, we did tall people, we did short people, we did UFOs, we did
Native American
yaks.
folklore.
Are we missing any?
That's me, bud. That's what I know about Mount Shasta.
All right. So you said last time that you have a theory about what's going on here and how these things are connected.
No, I wouldn't say it's that direct.
You said last time that I'm a mediocre listener.
Wait, what?
Apparently, I don't remember what you said last time.
Oh, I was like, did I say that? That sounds kind of mean. Like, I don't think I would say that specifically. No, I guess what I'm always fascinated by is when, because this has happened more than once before over the course of our explorations into the world of what if, where we find a location or a topic or whatever that seems to persist over time and space, and like these stories get promulgated through generations and through different mediums, and somehow they never die or get like refuted. And to this day now, there are, what did you refer to them, new age businesses?
Yeah, 30 of them or something.
Yeah, that will take you on spiritual tours of Mount Shasta to...
Well, I think that's part of your answer.
That there's a business involved?
That there's money to be made from essentially storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And book sales and speaking engagements and websites and all that stuff. TV shows. Podcasts.
It's podcasts. Podcasts that tell these stories.
Don't worry, guys. We don't make money.
And we're quite honest about these stories, I think. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of it. But there's also something to me to be said for, and granted, yes, there's a lot of these that are even less backed up than some of the stuff we talk about most of the time. But I guess I'm still, I don't know, I'm still sometimes curious about people who report riding trains from Northern California into Oregon past Mount Shasta and see bright lights emerging from the mountain at night, and pilots who in 2015 record bright lights over the mountains at flights that are unflyable by airplanes. And
well, it's the whole concept of like, it doesn't all have to be true. Only one piece of it has to be true for something weird to be going on.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and there seems to, even if you discredit the stuff that we have like comically discredited throughout the course of this, are there any granules of truth to the centralization of that location?
Right.
There being something weird going on.
Yeah.
Whether that be supernatural or not supernatural or paranormal or not paranormal or extraterrestrial or not extraterrestrial, is there some element? Because like,
I think some of these are just total fiction.
Oh,
some of the things we're talking about.
Completely.
Like not based on any actual real life happenings.
No. And I think any location that begets weird stories is just immediately a really easy and fun setting for people to tell the weird stories they want to tell already.
Right.
Because it's like, well, it's believable because there's already a backdrop of weird shit, so I can just inject my weird shit into this I mean, it really is fan fiction. It's the entire concept of, I love Harry Potter so much, and everyone knows Harry Potter, that I can just sort of plug into an existing stream of what people understand to be real.
I could write a great book about hypnotic regression in alien abduction patients.
What do you say more about that? What do you mean?
Because I've like read a bunch of those and watched a bunch of films and seen how it's portrayed, and like you just write your own version of that, and then you put it out there as a real thing.
You're saying you could plug into that sort of popular trope of of
I think
content.
that's what it is in a lot of these cases. Is like there's one story that gets repeated, and then that story gets repeated.
Yes.
And there are variations on it, and it's this like circular logic of, well, I'm citing that one, that's citing that one, that's citing that one, and at the end of the day, no one's actually citing anything real.
Right.
It's just being retweeted in book form over and over again.
Yes.
And blog form.
Yes.
And then there starts to be this huge mass of it out there where if you search Mount Shasta, you get a bunch of really bizarre shit.
Right.
But if you drill down on any of it, there doesn't really seem to be anything there.
Yeah. Or what's there is now become so hard to actually, like, if there is something there, it's become really hard to find because it's been piled on with this, like, very ridiculous world of alien species and old civilization species, and
it's obscured by many layers of bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think is always persistently my frustration, is because I'm like, yeah, but I want to know about the one thing that is true.
Right. And even from like a folklore level, like, why do these certain ideas and stories and tropes get repeated over and over and over in all these different formats and across cultures? Like, why does every culture have a myth about a great flood?
And why, what about place? What about place and space, like, allows for an inhabitants of that stuff, you know?
You're saying, why do certain locations have more of these stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at what point is there a critical mass in the psyche of a population where it's like that is a thing of this place. When do
It
the
could be
rumors
something
tip?
about the collective psychology of a group of people or people that live under certain circumstances.
Yeah, I do.
Or there could just be weird shit going on that's hard to identify.
There could be weird shit and I guess maybe that's more of what I'm getting to about what I wanted to talk about is like maybe there is some weird shit that's hard to identify. Like in a lot of my reading about this stuff, I read like some NPR articles about the city of, I think it's a city, right? Mount Shasta itself is a city.
Correct.
Like about Mount Shasta and the surrounding area. And I saw more than a few times people who say that they felt like called to the mountain, like people who had never visited it before, but wanted to visit it, like sort of passionately and went there. There's also people who went there for the first time and stayed because they felt like a calling, like that.
You could say that about a lot of places, though.
You definitely could, but
I just felt like I needed to move to New York, and now I never want to leave.
But I feel like it's a little different when it's just like a giant mountain that's sort of in the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
That's just so circumstantial and so based in the individual.
I agree. And it's vague.
There could be a million reasons for both of those things.
Yeah. It just seemed like interesting phraseology for, for people sort of it having some sort of like magnetic energy outside of being maybe like just a mountain.
Yeah. I think there's something to just the scale and the geography of it too. Like
yes.
If part of the ground suddenly rises 11,000 feet higher than everything around it, we're going to notice and we're going to try and figure out what happened there that didn't happen everywhere else.
Right. Like that just inherently creates intrigue and also your
perceived meaning.
Right. And then I tack on some of those, you're at high elevations. Sometimes people disappear because you're in the great vast wilderness. Sometimes you see things because you're put into dire physical and like natural situations. Sometimes, right. there are definitely layers of explanation to it all. But I just always find it fascinating that sometimes, even like the Skinwalker Ranch stuff, that's another one where it's like someone told a bunch of stories about a very specific place that were very far out.
That one's documented so much more specifically, though.
That's true.
And recently.
That's also true. But I guess, I guess more so, though, what I mean is that there are places that inhabit strangeness and compel strangeness.
There are a bunch of theories on the paranormal side of things about that and, the quote-unquote window areas or these areas where these strange experiences do seem to happen more, and you get into stuff like the Bermuda Triangle or like all the majority of Bigfoot encounters are in the Pacific Northwest and stuff like that, or like, the UFO hotspots around the world.
Right.
I don't know. I think it would be hard to ever determine what's going on there because there's so many variables and what you're referring to isn't even really documented.
Right.
So how could
it's
you
inherently unmeasurable.
Right. So yes, I agree with you. That does seem weird, but it also seems like so much of that could just be part of our like collective modern folklore at this point. Like, Bigfoot's from the Pacific Northwest. So if I'm going to like be out there, I'm going to be thinking about it. Or if I want to go see Bigfoot, I'm going to go look out there.
Right.
Or if I want to write a story about the time I saw Bigfoot, I'm going to set it out there.
It goes back to the confirmation bias stuff that we've been talking about somewhat recently as well, where it's like if someone told you weird shit happens on Mount Shasta, when you go to Mount Shasta, you're going to be on high key alert for the thought and possibility that you're going to see or feel or experience some weird shit.
And you want to have a story to tell.
Right.
I think that's it sometimes too.
Right.
Like when we've gone to a couple weird locations and but I mean, every time we've been like, oh man, I hope we see something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's natural to want to like partake in something rare and different and unexplainable.
Yeah.
See something that other people don't get to see.
Right.
And when it's something as nebulous as like a UFO or an encounter with some sort of creature, I think people look for any sign of that, where you get to like, I felt compelled to do this. Well, we feel compelled to do all the time, like many things. I felt compelled to drink water. I felt compelled to...
If I'm compelled to brush my teeth this morning.
Right. Like that doesn't... We look for the smallest, like, psychology-based reasons for stuff.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. I think there's a very human explanation for some of that, like...
I agree.
Window area stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. And that whole concept of... like wanting to have a story to tell, or like wanting to feel special. Like,
yeah, it's a big part of it.
It's I am important enough, or I am valuable enough, or I have something of value to take from this moment.
I am a celebrity.
Yeah, I am a celebrity.
I'm a federal employee.
I am a cop face. Fed face.
We out of here.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap Mount Shasta McNasty. Thank y'all for being with us. We haven't said it in a while, but if you like the show, we do this twice a week, and you're hearing the once of it a week. You can go to patreon.com/whatifpodcast, and for $5 a month, you can get double the weird. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, you
It should be
are.
all of you, except like the 125 that already did it right now.
Yeah, you are. Shout out to Patty, and there was a whole bunch of other people who came on this week as well. Also, we got robot grandma tees if you want to rep your Mount Shasta McNasty, along with logo tees and a whole bunch of other shit at shop.whatifpodcast.com.
I'm getting dickered on this one.
Yeah, buddy. And as always, if you want to get in touch, tell us a story, suggest an episode, make fun of us, whatever, you can send us an email at hi@whatifpodcast.com, or you can call and leave a voicemail and be on the show if you call us at 612-246-4614.
Hell yeah.
That's all we know.
Love you.
Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.